So, lads, today we are going to be talking about the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury game that's on later tonight. So, Phoenix are off a back-to-back, and they looked so impressive. They looked so impressive against the Chicago Sky. And they showed some things that I would think the Indiana Fever are going to struggle with. But, as a positive for the Fever, this team goes with a 7-man rotation. They go with a 7-man rotation, and all their players have played big minutes. There's a good chance 2 players play 40 minutes against the Fever, and Breanna is off a back-to-back. And so is Taurasi. I don't know how great they're going to be on a back-to-back. Look, they looked so impressive tonight at times, but I would much rather, as a Fever fan, face them today or tomorrow when I'm recording this. It's 5 a.m. It's today. It's today. Sorry, I'm like pulling an all-nighter to get my 19 videos ready for the weekend. Yeah, not smart. But yeah, so basically we have got right here a good Phoenix Mercury team. And in this video I'm going to be talking about how the Indiana Fever, what they need to do to win this game. 1 word, 3 letters, run. They will not beat the Phoenix Mercury in the half court. We saw what happened the last time these two teams played. And you might be saying, oh, but like, you can see right here. This was a good game, by the way. This 8-12 game. Wow, the Fever only won 2 more games after this. Oh, no, to be fair, they went 11-14. I think it 12-14? No, 11-14. But this was a game that the Fever were up 30 at one stage, and they brought it back through nothing other than Cat Copper. Like, they're missing their whole team, and then Breanna got hurt. So, yeah, they were missing everybody. Like, Sophie Cunningham was fine. She was fine. Like, what did she have? 21? She had 21 points? Not remember that. But, for the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark had like 8 assists through the first quarter. She had 20 and 13. Shot okay. But the big problem was, in this game, that the Mercury went into a zone and the Fever could not score. Like you can see here, the Fever scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. And by the way, those 14 points were like, I think they had 4 in like a 9-minute spell. When Caitlin Clark was off the floor for a minute and a half, they didn't really score at all. And this was a game where I was like, she is the worst player I've ever seen in Erica Wheeler. Lexi Hull couldn't buy a bucket. Every shot was wide open. They just kept missing. Fever just kept missing wide open threes. But the Fever could not deal with the Mercury zone in that last game. Nate Tibbetts, and you might be saying, oh, he's not going to run a zone. If you watch this game, Nate Tibbetts not only ran the 2-3 zone, and it wasn't even a good 2-3 zone. They literally did not guard the weak side. They played the crappiest 2-3 zone ever. And they just couldn't break it. They couldn't break like a bad zone. Because this Indiana Fever don't believe in ball movement, they don't believe in player movement. But in this game right here, not only did Phoenix show the 2-3 zone, they showed a 3-2 zone. They showed how they can double off. They showed they double and rotate off a 3-2 zone. Like, there is no man I've ever seen have more zone defenses in his arsenal than Nate Tibbetts. Like, they run multiple zones. They run like normal 2-3s. They run trapping 3-2s. Like, off their 3-2 every single time, what they do is they will put a guard. They did this over and over and over again, and this guy couldn't score. They will put a guard down low in the 3-2 as bait, basically. And what they'll do is they will allow the guard to get a position on a big. The guards have done a good job of forcing the big into the middle, which basically forcing the big into the middle to shoot, which means they're shooting over Breanna playing help side, and then the dump down isn't on because whoever is on the far wing drops down to cover the dump down. So yes, the kick to the wide open 3-point shooter in the wing is open, but like, unless it's Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever aren't hitting shots. They brought out the junk zones, they brought out the man, they brought out the weird Natasha Cloud guards the center defense that worked for a little bit against Indiana. There is no man that I would be more... If I had Fate of the Universe on the line and the only way that we can win a game by is deploying a junk zone and I have to choose a coach, I'm choosing Nate Tibbetts. I'm choosing Nate Tibbetts. So if you are Indiana, run, run, run. Do not let them set up. This is a team that's going to be tired on a back-to-back. They're old. They're not particularly fast. They cannot deal with you running. But you know what they can deal with? You in the half court. And that all starts from defense and rebounding. It starts from stopping two players. Taurasi will do whatever she does. Sophie Cunningham, I'm not worried. Sophie Cunningham, she might score a couple of points. I don't really care. It's all down to stopping Cat Copper. You cannot let Cat Copper. You need to do what you did to Cat Copper the last time. Like, what you did to Cat Copper was you turned her into that defender. Like, Cat Copper, 3 of 15 from the field, 7 points. You need Copper to have a game like that. You need her to have a poor game. Because if she has a good game, it's game over. It's game over. Like, you're not going to get stops. You're going to be set into the half court. You're going to be missing shots. If you are Indiana, it all comes from defense. And this is where, if you're Christy Sides talking about your defense, this is where it's shown. Are you that defensive coach? Are you the defensive coach that you say you are? Because, I don't know. I don't think so. If you're asking me, is she a spectacular defensive coach? I'd answer no. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything that proves that Christy Sides is even a good defensive coach. Not even a great defensive coach. I haven't seen anything to prove she's even a good one. So, it is what it is. I could be very wrong with that, but I doubt it. Either way, yeah, for Indiana, they win by running. They win by playing with pace. Like, slowing down, you can't slow down if you're Indiana and try to force through Aaliyah Boston. Brittany Griner's too good. She's too good right now. She's been too good this season to play through Aaliyah Boston. Like, who scored big the last time? To be fair, Aaliyah Boston cooked in the pick and roll. That's the one thing, is they can't play man. Like, the Mercury cannot play man in this scenario, but you can see for the Fever, Aaliyah Boston was 6 and 9 with 17 points. If you watch this game, it was all like out of the pick and roll. Like, you can cook Brittany Griner in pick and roll. You can just try to put her in everything. But that's why they started off with Tash Cloud on Aaliyah Boston. But yeah, it's one of those games, again, Caitlin Clark has to take over, but not in the way you think. She doesn't need to take over in like a need to score 40 points. She needs to take over in she needs to set the tempo of this game. And the defense has got to be there. If they play defense the way Christy Sides wants them, well, I don't even know what way Christy Sides wants them to play. If they can play defense, they're going to win this game. Like, this game comes from defense. It's not about holding them under a certain amount of points. It is the fact that the best offense against a team that is going to sit in a junk zone, and not only are they going to sit in a junk zone, once you figure out one of their junk zones, they're going to throw another junk zone at you. You're not going to beat them in half court. There's not enough high IQ players on this Fever team, and your coach is not smart enough to break down these zones. And their coach this team is smart enough to know how to switch zones on the fly. This team is smart enough to do it, and their coach is good enough. So, yeah, you either run or you lose at this stage if you are Indiana.